Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining to this Teltonika and EPCOM session. We'll be starting in about 2 minutes. So thank you so much for your time. Welcome to our remote management system with Teltonika Networks 4G LTE wireless routers. Today, Rolandas from Teltonika will be our presenter for today's webinar. So thank you for your time. At the end of the webinar, we'll be sending you the link with the recording of the webinar. As well, we invite you to check all of our webinars at youtube.com at our channel EPCOM USA. So if you need any information from Teltonika, we'll also be sending the email for the engineer from EPCOM. So if you have a project coming up or if you have any other project where you'll need some advice from our engineer team as well from Teltonika, just please let us know. We're here to help you. So, good morning, Rolandus.
Good morning, Victor. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. Now I think we're ready to start, Rolandus.
Perfect. Great. Good morning, everyone. Happy to have this session with you and with EPCOM. And yes, today I will be presenting you Teltonika Networks 4G routers and remote management system, and also 5G routers. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the switches as well. So let's start. I'll give you a little bit background about the Teltonika company as a whole, where we are ranked. So you can see we are top 3 manufacturer globally of cellular industrial grade routers specifically. We did $126 million sales last year, and we are, just after Clip-Point or Sierra Wireless, and you can see the other manufacturers are lower in the rankings. So this speaks about our quality and affordability of our products. We're essentially market leaders in terms of pricing and quality and functionality combination. You can see we have multiple offices globally, so our devices not only are being used in USA, but also in Toronto, Canada as a whole, and also, in South America as well. We manufacture all of the products in Europe, in Lithuania. We have a manufacturing plant specifically for networking devices. We have a couple of manufacturing plants that are dedicated for other types of products. So our company is growing and expanding, and we fully develop all of the products, and also the software and cloud management is designed by us. Again, Toronto office, we have a support team there on stock, so this means that lead times are going to be much shorter, and we're going to be opening the office in Dallas eventually, so the lead times will also decrease much more for you buying from EPCOM, because EPCOM will be able to source from us as well the products much quicker. Then let's talk about routers first. So this is our top 5 routers, that all of them are 4G LTE routers, and we sell most of these products in USA and Canada. They are fully certified on all of the operators, so you can see it's fully certified with AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. And some of them have additional certifications, like you can see FirstNet, and I will talk about in more details about each product. But generally, you can see that all of the products, are pretty ruggedized. They are industrial grade, high temperature range, minus 40 Fahrenheit, plus 167 Fahrenheit. The vibration resistance, dust resistance, we all have very powerful software, and also the cloud management. So I'm going to talk about each of them one by one. But before we jump into the products individually, let's talk about the cloud management. So in the middle, you can see our ETN50 router, which is the 5G router. I'm also going to dive in more about the product itself, but let's talk about a little bit as well from a higher perspective about the software and the cloud. So you can see, RET OS operating system is our software on the routers, and the same software applies on all of the routers. And it's pretty high functional. We have a lot of different failover, functionalities, VPNs, MQTT, Modbus protocols, DNP3, and things like that. So it's very high functional. You can find much more different functionalities on it when you're gonna join. Also, there is a RMS Cloud, which also allows you to have a lot of different functionalities on it. You can monitor devices remotely. You can update the firmware remotely. You can update configurations of devices remotely, do it to multiple devices at once. And also, I will open the RMS Cloud on my web browser, and I will show you as well a little bit demo how it looks like. So let's go now to devices itself. Maybe also a little bit comparison here about the cloud pricing. So our cloud pricing is extremely competitive. You have ability to actually pay for, let's say, 10 years of cloud. On average, you would need to pay around $20 to $40 for 10-year cloud license per device. In this case, we have example of $20 per 10 years. So this would be, the comparison. If you have 1,000 units in field, and you wanna, let's say, if you want to have a cloud for those 1,000 units for 10 years access, you will pay to for Teltonika devices only $20,000 to keep them on the cloud for all 10 years for 1,000 devices. And if you're gonna go with Sierra or Cradlepoint or like Piplink or any other the other OEMs, you're gonna need to pay at least $500,000 or maybe even 1 million. So this is gonna be extreme cost savings on your side for choosing Teltonika, not specifically for the hardware cost, but for the cloud costs. Let's talk about each router individually now. So RET241 is our best-selling router because it's very compact in size. Has main functionalities like 2 Ethernet ports, single SIM, and Wi-Fi. And as again, the cloud and the software is the same like on all of the other routers, which means that you can pretty much do whatever you want with this router, as long as you are able to connect to your IoT device. So yeah, you can see it's also fully certified on all operators. And additional, benefits, of course, it's a very competitive price. So you can see it's $199 MSRP, which is one of the most competitively priced routers on the market for its value and reliability, of course. RET360 would be a slightly faster version. It's a Cat6 router. RET241 is Cat4. This is Cat6. So essentially, one main difference is a speed of the cellular connectivity. Then RET951 would be dual SIM. So if you need a dual SIM router and if you need more Ethernet ports, this one has 4 Ethernet ports. You're gonna need to go with RET951, which is slightly more expensive, but has a little bit more ports and dual SIM. RET956 is a little bit more interesting. It also has dual SIM, has 4 Ethernet ports, but on top of that, of course, there is GPS. There is RS-232, RS-485 serial interfaces, good for legacy equipment monitoring. Of course, there's Wi-Fi, like on all of the routers. There is I/O ports, 10 of the I/O ports, and also USB port. This also stands out with FirstNet certification. So on AT&T FirstNet, you can use this one. And also there is a C1D2 certification, class 1 div 2 for hazardous locations. This means that you can use in applications like oil and gas wells, monitoring, let's say, and type of applications like that. So for $275 MSRP price, you are getting extremely functional and widely certified device. I would say it's going to be one of the most interesting for industrial applications and most useful. RET XL11 would be the last one from our 4G portfolio that we have as best-selling devices. So you can see it's Cat6, it has gigabit ports on it, has Wi-Fi 5 as well, dual SIM, Bluetooth, GPS, and USB. So again, pretty high functional, also has a much faster CPU and more RAM on it. This just means that you can have more, processing power and more load on this device. And you can see the price is slightly more expensive than the rest. It's 387 because it's more higher performance route. And then the last one is the 5G device. 5G router is 5G capable and also 4G Cat19. So if you have, let's say, if you are in a situation where you don't have 5G connectivity, you're gonna need to go with 4G, and it's gonna be Cat19, which is almost as fast as 5G. So in this case, you will be still having very fast internet. Additionally, you can see the device has gigabit ports, actually 5 of them, Wi-Fi 5, dual SIM, GPS, and USB. So again, very functional, very fast router, powerful CPU, a lot of RAM on it as well. And also you can see it has private LTE bands, band 41 and band 48. Also additional features. So, and also important to notice, it also has FirstNet certification. So this device has FirstNet. You can use it also for mission critical applications, first responders, police vehicles, governmental vehicles, very popular in that space and would be very useful because it's only $5.99 USD. So it's making you very competitive in that space. If you want to go this route, you're going to make your solution extremely competitive, considering that the cloud cost as well is very low. You can see AT&T and T-Mobile certification is completed, and Verizon, we are still pending. So we just released this device. So we're waiting to get this fully certified on all operators. Like all of the other routers, we have fully certified with all. For this one, we are still in process. We're completing Verizon in September, and we will be also all operators on RET-M50 as well. But as of now, you can fully use it on AT&T and T-Mobile. What I also wanted to emphasize that we also have switches, which is also very, very good addition to the routers in many instances. So one switch that is good to know is TSW202. It is a PoE managed switch. It has 8 gigabit ports. All of them are PoE plus 2 SFP ports, and it also has industrial protocols like Profinet, Ethernet RP, MRP, as well as there is also a software on the router, and also there is a RMS cloud as well. So you can put this device on RMS cloud, same way like you are putting the routers. So I think this would be really interesting because the price point on this is extremely competitive, $137. Most of the routers, most of the switches like that are being priced at $200, $300 at the best. Ours is $137, which is going to help you, to be very competitive. On top of that, we have more switches, which are also PoE. So let me share my screen here on the website. I will show you the switches that we have. So, for example, you can see we have multiple other switches like DIN-rail mountable switches. We have PoE switches with 5 ports, gigabit, 120 power budget, TSW100. Then there is also a different switch with lower power budget would be TSW101, a little bit more price competitive. I would say these are around under $100, like 70. Some of those are $50. MSRP. And also important one is TSW200. So 200 would be a PoE switch with 8 ports, gigabit ports, PoE switch unmanaged. As well, very high power budget, I think it's around 240 watts, which allows you to also use it for, high power budget applications, ruggedized device, and really price competitive. I think should be price should be somewhere around $100, maybe slightly less. So yeah, that would be switches. And let's talk about the cloud management. I will share my screen here on the browser. Victor, can you confirm that you can see the screen? I'm sharing the RMS management system right now. Okay, I believe you're still able to see my screen here, so I will continue on RMS Cloud explanations here. So for example, you can see we have here multiple devices uploaded on the RMS account. So you can, for example, select multiple devices, you can click manage services, you can extend your RMS licenses here to be able to access the device for 5 years or 10 years if you want, or for a couple of months. Then also what you can do here is update firmware on all of the devices. You can upload backup, which would be a custom configuration, set up alerts, or you can, for example, add tags on devices. So in bulk, what you can do in bulk as well is to add devices in bulk. You can click here. You can add device manually, one by one, or you can add it from file. Upload CSV file via MEIs and passwords of each of the device, and you will be able to add the devices, multiple devices in one go. Of course, let's try to open a single device. We select LTE-M50 here, and you can do multiple things here as well that are useful. You can observe the metrics that you need, CPU usage, RAM, temperature of the device, what Ethernet ports are utilized, what SIM card is inserted, this time all over the screen. As well as, more detailed metrics, you can click here and select what you want to see, like signal strength, again, connection type, temperature. You can see also location. We have a map. You can see that this device is actually located in Toronto, Canada, in our warehouse. And yeah, as well, you can access the WI of the device. So let's connect to the WI of this LTE-M50 and see what what functionalities the software on the router will allow us to access. So let's do this. Here you can see we have access to the WI of the router. So remotely, the router is in Toronto. Myself, I'm in Lithuania, and I can access that device and configure it remotely. You can see here this is a status section. We can monitor and observe a lot of information about the router. Then we can go to the network configuration section. As well, you can see, you can configure multiple things like, WAN, LAN ports, wireless, failover, firewalls, VLAN, DHCP, DNS, and then there is also services, additional services like MQTT, which is also standing out, SNMP. Yeah, again, web filter, serial ports, I/O ports, VPNs. So GPS as well. So you see, and also we have a package manager. If you need additional functionalities, you can use package manager and upload the functionality that we have also on Arabic. You can download and upload to any of the routers. Yeah, so that would be the cloud. As well, there is additional features like, for example, company hierarchies. You have ability to set up a parent account, and then you can have second or third level companies under you, which you would control. You can create roles for those people on the lower level accounts, and you can provide them with the access and permission. So we would be able to, in some extent control the devices, maybe observe them or do some minor configurations, but you would be the owner of the devices. You can remove or add people who has access to their devices. So this is very useful as well. So let's go back to the slides right now, and let's talk about some verticals. So verticals, we can see that our products are mostly used in smart city applications, industrial and automation, vehicle connectivity, and enterprise. So for example, in smart city applications, we can see these type of applications like, kiosks, ATM machines, digital signage, access controls, payment systems, EV charging stations. So for this, you see that most of the clients are using a RT241 router because it's very simple, compact, it can fit in all of these use cases and has very good pricing, as well as all of the functionalities that I described, like powerful software, temperature range, cloud management. And yeah, that's the leader, RT241 in this section. If you go to industrial automation, we would go with RT956 router because it has industrial interfaces and serial interfaces, IO ports, C1D2 certification, FirstNet. So FirstNet would be maybe used somewhere in wastewater management, governmental applications, C1D2 energy. Then you would use, for other remaining generator monitoring as well, you would utilize maybe legacy interfaces and even GPS to see the location of the device, maybe in farming applications if you put it on a tractor or something like that. So yeah, RT956 would be the one where we see the most in industrial automation. On the vehicles, we can use actually right now RT M50 because it's a very fast router, and most of the clients now are using it on buses. Bus Wi-Fi, for example, RVs, recreational vehicles, boats, and trucks, as well as governmental vehicles like police cars, ambulances, fire trucks. We can see that RT-M50 has high demand there, but as well, if you want to go lower on the cost, you can use RTX11 or even RT956 because both of them has GPS. And if we go to the enterprise section, you would see that RT241 and would be the main router here because of the failover applications, as well as RT360 because that is a slightly faster router than RT241, and some clients prefer that, Cat6, and they use it for failover or even primary. But if you want to really be very quick, we have very fast, reliable connectivity, and 4G is not enough for you. Of course, a lot of clients are switching to 5G, and we want to go with 5G primary to be future-proof. So they go with RT-M50 as well for this. So yeah, that would be an overview. And additionally, what I can show you as well is also on a website, very useful tool is, for example, our use cases. You can go to the use case page where we just looked at them overally, but here you can read in more details about each use case. So for example, you can click here 5G router, quick events, safety, and you can here see that, we use the RTX M50, let's say, 5G router on a vehicle and also a GPS tracker. So we can monitor, what's happening with the vehicle. We can connect a couple of CCTV cameras, maybe a drone, and it's going to be a very versatile solution. As well as, we can take a look again as a 5G router for buses, very popular application. You can connect multiple devices on the bus itself and also provide Wi-Fi on the bus with a very good speed as well. You can, for example, connect additional antennas for a better speed on RT-M50. So let's go to our router. Here is RT-X50. This is European version. But if we go to RT-M50, for example, you can see here on the website, you can read more details. But what I wanted to also talk about is accessories. So accessories is an important factor. It goes with all of the routers that we have. So you can see that you have 5G antenna, for example, combo antenna. Can connect all of the interfaces on the router and to one antenna. On the antenna side, and as well as we have battery, for example. If you have let's say if you want to have an uninterrupted power supply on the vehicle, let's say, so the router won't restart or won't be affected by any way, then you would be better off with the camera, so the router would have power if you are turning off power on a vehicle. There are also options for the mounting. So we have compact mounting kit, digital metal kit, and adapter, and as well as additional power supplies if you need, or additional, powering cables like wires, four-way screw terminal, and there is also an automotive power supply for vehicles, cigarette lighter adapter, so to speak. Also, what is important to mention is ordering. When you are ordering the router itself will be coming with, of course, power supply, with antennas, Wi-Fi, mobile, GPS, and also Ethernet cable by standard. So this is also useful to know. You have all of the products, all of the accessories that are necessary to be able to start already using the router at its fullest. And when you receive the router, you always have 1 month free, regardless where when you bought the router, when you add the device to the cloud. From that moment, 30 days of free cloud starts counting, and after 30 days you will lose access, but you can extend it by buying additional RMS credits. So this is also good to know. You can freely test cloud anytime. If you bought the router and when you upload it to the cloud, you have 30 days for free. So yeah, this would be I think, valuable resource. Additional thing what I wanted to show is our wiki page. So you can Google wiki Teltonika Networks and you will find this page, which again would be very useful. Let's say if you want to learn more about the devices, functionalities, let's say you can write here LTE and 50 failover, for example, and we will explain you here how to configure the failover. So this is very useful resource. You have, let's say you can have immediate support from, let's say Teltonika. Need to wait a little bit, or you can just try to find the solution yourself. You will be able to find a lot of information. So let's say VPN, for example, we can also see how to configure the VPN multiple ways, the whole table of contents here, or LTE 50 MQTT, let's say, functionality as well. So a lot of things, and you can just do search and you will find a lot of useful information. A lot of your questions will be answered. So I think we went through most of the material. Maybe there are questions. Yeah.
Yes, now let's open the Q&A. So thank you everyone for attending to this session with Teltonika. So if you want to send us a question, you have a question panel on the right side of your screen. So please identify this panel, and if you want to send us any comment or question about these products, this is the moment. At the end of the webinar, we'll be sending you a follow-up email. Also, you can send us any other comment or question in that email. So let's check Rolanda's. Seems like we don't have any question at the moment. So we don't have any other questions. So we'll be closing the session. And as we mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, we'll be sending you the recording to your email. So Rolanda, thank you so much for all this valuable information about Teltonika, and thank you for your time this morning.
Perfect. Thank you, Victor, and thank you for everyone who was attending. Have a good day.
Have a great one. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.